Hello everybody, Chris with Night of Living Card Games back again for day 12 of my Legacy of the Ancestors campaign run. Day 11, got the rebreather working, went down and explored the silent dormitories, got a new mission to get the Estian, to power up the Estian door unlocker. So I got to find machines to do that, but my goal is to get down, I think today, to get to the cerulean curtain so I could head down. So I'm starting in the silent dormitories, gonna try to head up to the severed arteries, and then down to the cerulean curtains. So that is my goal today. We are still on the enveloping silence weather for another day. And well, let me get my setup. I've got my rebreather out again, but let's draw our opening hand of 6 cards. Gauze Blade, Bravest Ranger, Follow in Footsteps, Compassionate, Wonders of the Valley, and a Lambent's Rig. All right. I'm going to hold on to the Compassionate. And I'm going to hold on to the Lambent's Rig, and I'm going to draw everything else. So 4 more. We got a Quiet. We've got a Cassende Technique. We've got a second copy of Quiet, and we've got Sill's Sketchbook. So, not a spectacular opening hand. But we will do what we can. All right, so at the Silent Dormitory, set up as we draw a path card. Lead Ranger draws a path card. Oh, we get, you know what? I'm going to shuffle that back in. So that is a moment of the Arcology, and I don't like doing those on the opening ones. I like those showing up a little bit more during the game. So we're going to do that. All right, so what do we got here? We got an Overgrown Vestiges. Feature, Trail, Flora, Obstacle, 1 Presence, 2 harm, 6 progress threshold. It is an obstacle. However, if it is illuminated, it loses obstacle. And then I could do an awareness plus exploration to discover something useful in the overgrowth, to search your ranger deck for a gear and add it to your hand. Oh, that's nice. All right. And this is 1 presence, 4 progress to get through and out of here. So, start of the round, we draw a path card. Okay, well, we're just going to go with it this time. Echoes of the Invasion. Even down here, you can see the impact of the choices made during the Reclaimer invasion. You hear something echo up a nearby passage. The telltale sign of Hydra Worms. Search the swamp set for 2 Hydra Worms and shuffle them into the path deck. Ooh. Oh, don't like that one bit. Well, 1 Hydra Worm. Two Hydra Worm. All right, well, this could get real interesting real quick. Actually, I do need to check one thing real quick here. I don't think I shuffle 1 in, but I do want to double check that. Because I think because I already got the mission. Yep, I do not shuffle 1 in, so I got to take him out. All right, he is out. All right, shuffle, 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 shuffle. All right. All right, well, my turn. Well, since that's an obstacle, I can't really get around it. I could get my Lambent's rig out and do it, but I think I will wait a turn for that. So I'm actually going to do this ability. So 2 versus 1. +1, I succeed, so I get to search my Ranger deck for a gear and add it to my hand. Alright. The Vaulting Rod is a gear. The Lambent's Rig is a gear. Logbook is a gear. Gauze Blade. Intention Translator. Alright. So, need to decide what I want to do. So the logbook would be really nice, just because I could keep reading this. I don't need the Lambent's Rig because I already have one of those, so let's take that one away. Gauze Blade, no. Alright. I think I'm gonna do the Intention Translator, because that's an aid card, so that'll help me with this. And if I can get find that Stout-Hearted Guardian title, then I can do that. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend 2 to get Quiet Out. We will spend 1 to get an Intentions Translator out. And that's about all I can do at this time. So we will draw up Gauze Blade. Now we get, a Bustling Lightbringer. Alright. So he is a machine. So he comes in with 3 power on him, but he also comes in with one extract. Adapter, sorry. And so I have to do focus plus triangle to move that over here, and I need 2 of them. However, if my effort is 2 or more, the Crimson Guardian comes out, and I got to deal with that guy. Oh, I forgot to do the Blue Mountain before. What was here? If the feature is illuminated, no, it is not. So that was the only thing that happened. Nothing triggered off of that. All right, tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna spend 1 to get our Lambent's Rig out. We are now going to try to do this focus test, just 1-to-1. -1, I fail. Okay, but Yellow Sun, so I either have to spend an energy or... So we'll spend an energy here. What's the Yellow Sun here? Either discard 2 progress from a feature to soothe 1 fatigue, or suffer 1 fatigue to add 2 progress to a feature. Well, I guess I am got to suffer a fatigue to add 2 progress here. And then Yellow Sun, powered 1. If there is an active feature, discard 1 power from this being to add 1 progress to that feature, and then move this being. Okay. Oops. Alright, so we remove 1 power from here, add 1 progress here, and then we move this guy over here. Alright. Let's try that ability again, just 1-to-1. 0, I succeed. So I get to go find, because it doesn't say once per round or once per player, so I get to go grab another one. What do I want this time? Let's take the logbook. We will add that to our hand. Alright, we are now going to spend 1 fitness to get our logbook down. And that's about all I'm going to be able to do. I don't have anything to connect to. I mean, I guess I could try to connect to the Lightbringer, but I don't really care about that. I can't get past this because it's an obstacle. I guess I could try to... No. Alright. We are going to just call it. So we're resting, and now on refresh, we draw a card. Stout-Hearted Guardian, nice. And we draw a new card. Oh, it is another Bustling Lightbringer. All right. Okay. All right, well, we are going to spend 2 spirit to get my Stout-Hearted Guardian out. We are now going to exhaust ourselves and spend 1 spirit to put a charge on my Intentions Translator, which allows me to heal or recover a fatigue. All right. Ugh. We're going to try it here. So we're going to do this test. I will throw in another icon. So I'll be a 2 versus a 1 on... let's do this guy here. Actually, before I do that, we're going to exhaust the Lambent's Rig, spend a charge, and we're going to illuminate this locations or this feature so it is no longer an obstacle. +1 naturally. So I succeed, which means I get to move 1 here. However, because I succeeded with an effort of 2 or more, I have to go get the Crimson Guardian and put it into play. Okay. So let me take care of, because I think this happens after I do the blue. So blue. Nothing. Mission. We do have 1 here. What is it? If an active machine has both power and adapter tokens, discard 1 of each from it. Darn it. Alright, so that power is gone. Now here, what is it? Blue, powered 1. If there's an active predator, there is not. So nothing happens here. Here, if this feature is illuminated, add 1 progress to it, which it is illuminated now. So that. Now over here, powered 1. If there's an active predator, there is not. Alright, so now we get the Crimson Guardian out. A red glow illuminates the hall ahead, and you hear a low mechanical growl. The sound of heavy footsteps preceding a hulking form that all but fills the passageway. It stops and projects several thin red bands of light that seem to scan its surroundings. You stand stock still as the lights move across your body, first horizontally, then vertically. Then suddenly the machine turns, and a powerful blood-red light shines upon you. Right, so the Crimson Guardian is a being, machine, obstacle, 2 presence, 4 damage, 6 connect threshold, and it comes in with 4 power. It is an obstacle, it is disconnected. Response, when there is no power on this, discard it. We can do a fitness test against 2 to grapple with the Guardian to move this machine and discard 1 power from it. Okay. All right, now this is a machine though, so we do get that. Okay, so Now the question is, how do I want to go about and do this? I think I want to hold off doing anything right now because I want to get the other power. And if I draw a challenge card and it's another blue sun, I lose the power. So we're going to choose to rest. Can't travel or anything, so now we're on refresh. We draw a card. It is my ranger badge. Oh, beautiful. And now we get a new path card. It is Humming Circuits. It is a feature and machine with a 0 presence, 2 powers, and 2 harm, 3 progress threshold. Powered 1, it gains illumination. And I can take a focus test to discard power up to your effort from this feature to add an equal number of unique tokens to a machine or tech. Excuse me. And if you fail, you suffer an injury. Now, this guy does not come in with any adapters because he comes in with adapters equal to his presence, which also means Crimson Guardian has 2, not 1. Yes. So. All right. Let us... Alright, we are going to use the Lambent's rig to once again illuminate the overgrown vestiges. So we're going to try to get the power off of that. The question I just have is, do I want to throw another icon in there? I already have the Crimson Guardian out, so it's not like anything can get there. But the problem is the only icon I have that'll match that will be my ranger badge, and I really like my ranger badge. We're just gonna try it 1-to-1. Since there's 2 power on there, we'll try it 1-to-1. 0, I succeed. So I take a power from here, or an adapter from here, I add an adapter here, and now I can read, what is this? 1.1115. Okay, so... read an entry based on your progress on artificial adapters. So right now, I don't have any. You take a moment to examine the adapters you've gathered, and after attempting to slot them into Lund's scrap-built door opener, it looks like only one of them is compatible with the device. You marvel at Lund's ingenious yet somewhat inefficient design, and determine that you'll need to find at least 2 more compatible adapters, then find somewhere where you can weld them together in order to get it working again. Discard all adapter tokens from the mission and check off 1 bubble next to this mission on the campaign tracker. Ooh, so we are going to have to get 6 of these, I guess. Well then. Let me make a note of that on my mission. All right, well... that was that. Now we gotta do our show. So discard a progress, or that will discard progress from here. Either discard 2 progress from a feature to soothe 1 fatigue, or suffer 1 fatigue to add 2 progress to a feature. I will suffer a fatigue to add 2 progress to a feature, which clears this guy. All right, Yellow Sun here, powered 1, which it is. If there is an active feature, discard 1 power from this being to add 1 progress to the feature. This is a feature. So we discard 1 energy from it, we move this, and we add a progress here. Bustling Lightbringer, same thing. So we'll remove a power, taking him down to 2. Add a progress to this feature, and we moved him. because this is not a feature. And now here, though, if this being has one or more harm, it repairs itself. Discard all harm and 1 power from it. Well, there isn't any harm on it. Okay. All right, tell you what. Let's exhaust and let us spend an awareness energy to add 1 here and recover a fatigue, a bold. That's nice. Okay. I think what we are going to do here is we are going to have Quiet attack this bustling Lightbringer and run it off. So takes 2 damage, which is enough, and then he suffers damage back equal to the presence of 1. We are going to spend 2 to get our Ranger badge out. And now, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. We are going to spend bold and 2 fitness energy to try to traverse here. So I'm going to suffer 0 fatigue, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm a 4 versus a 1. Plus 1, I succeed with a total effort of 5. All right. Now, however, red crest, nothing, 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 nothing here, though. If you have 2 or more fatigue, I do. Exhaust this being, discard 1 power from it, and suffer 1 injury. Ugh. Well, that's unfortunate. So that causes me to lose the Kasende technique, a copy of Pakoto, and a second copy of that. Excuse me. I was then going to Ranger badge myself and start getting those cards back. Oh, and now I have to reshuffle. Well. We'll see what we can do here. So I'm going to stick here 1 more round to try to get that last adapter off of the Crimson Guardian. All right, I'm going to end my turn. I'm not going to travel, so we're now in refresh. I suffer a fatigue. We ready everything up. We draw a card into another Lambent's rig. New card here. We got a Humming Circuit. Comes in with 2. Oh, I ran out of the white card, white dice, so let's... We'll do it that way, because it is... Yeah, equal to its presence. Doesn't say minimum of 1, so nothing comes in there. All right, we are going to exhaust ourselves and spend a fitness. We'll add 1 to our Ranger badge and heal a fatigue, my Vaulting Rod. And now we are going to try this 1-to-1. Plus 1, I succeed, so I do get this out here. And then now yellow. So spend an energy. Okay, we'll spend fitness. That's fine. Here, either discard 2 progress from a feature to soothe the fatigue or suffer fatigue to put 2 progress. All right, we'll suffer a fatigue to put 2 progress on this feature, which clears it. Here, If there's an active feature, which there is, discard 1 power from this being to add 1 progress to the feature. So that, done, and then we move this guy. If this being has 1 or more damage, it does not. And then finally, powered 1, add 1 power to the machine with the least power, which is actually the Bustling Lightbringer. Alright, that is it for me. So I am going to choose to rest, and because I have enough, I am going to travel. I am going to travel back up to the Severed Artery, and we will continue our adventure from there. Alright, I got everything set up. I am going to retcon one thing real quick. Before I left, I forgot I had a fatigue. So what I would have done is I would have used a token on this to ready my ranger. Then I would have spent an energy, put that back on to grab a card, Wonders of the Valley. Alright, now we're there. Alright, so now we're back in Severed Artery, and it does say to take 2 random cards from the Artery set and put that in there, which I have. You come to an excavated chamber. In one direction it recedes into complete darkness. In the other it ends abruptly. Judging by the tumbled boulders and the state of the Estian transit line, there was a cave-in here long ago, causing the line to twist and rip like the green branches of a sapling. Right, and then on arrival, the lead ranger searches for the next feature and puts it into play. That is not, that is a being, that is a being, that is a being, that is a feature. Let me shuffle that up and then... Alright, so we have a kinetic transfer pod, which is a feature, machine, and a ruin. It has a presence of X, 0 power, and 5 harm threshold. So the presence of X is equal to 3 minus the number of power on this feature, minimum of 0. And you can take a spirit test against a presence to brave the ancient transportation system to move your ranger token to or remove it from this feature. And then it has a response. When you travel, if all ranger tokens are on this feature and there is more power than ranger tokens, you may travel to a location up to 2 paths away. Use the terrain of the second path when building the path deck. Okay, how do we get power on there? Red challenge effect. If this ruin has more ranger tokens than power, the pod falls. Each ranger whose token is here suffers an injury and then discard this ruin. Okay, well, we would have to figure out how to add power to it. It comes in with 0, and it means its presence is 0, which means even though it's a machine, it doesn't do that. Alright, we are now on refresh, which means we suffer fatigue from our injury. Then we ready everything up. Put our energy back. Draw a card into Following Footsteps. And now we draw a path card. It is a Coruscating Phantom, a being predator biomeld. 2 presence, 5 harm, 7 connect presence, ambush, and illumination. Alright, well, it ambushes me, so I suffer 2 fatigue. Not ideal. Alright. I guess it is my turn. I do not like that thing. We are going to spend 1 to swap out our Lambent's rig with a gauze blade. I have to swap it out because I only have 5 gear slots, and so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then these ones were 1 each, so they were 5. We are now going to spend 1 to play the Cassende technique. Because I have a weapon equipped, add 5 damage to a being. And then suffer fatigue equal to the harm that exceeds that harm threshold. It is 5 to 5, so nothing exceeds. So it goes away and I suffer no fatigue. Alright, let us exhaust and spend an awareness. We will put one on my ranger badge to ready get it, another vaulting rod. We will then use our ranger badge to ready myself up. We will then do our thing again. And we've got another gauze blade. Alright. Well, let us, you know, we're going to try to look at my ranger deck. And we're going to do that. Because I think, let me take a look. Okay, I still have one copy of Cordo's Instinct in my deck, which would allow me to stack a machine on top to try to get at least a second bubble here. So, we are a 2 versus a 1. Oh, this has got to shuffle. So, a 2 versus a 1 to remember my ranger training. I succeed with a +1, so I 3 efforts. So, Stout-Hearted Guardian, Bravest Ranger, and Pakoto the Ferret. Ooh, Pakoto would be nice. However, we're looking for Cordo's Instinct here. A bold. Alright, not what I was looking for, but that's okay. Excuse me again. Oh, and now this goes away. Blue. Nothing. There's no machines out. Nothing. So, nothing there. Alright, we are going to rest. We don't have enough to travel. So, we're on refresh. We are fatigued 1. We ready everything up. Put our energy back. Draw a path card. Come on, machine. No. The Arcology stirs. Awakened by your approach, the area around you stirs with the thrumming of ancient machinery. Whatever purpose it may have once served is lost on you, but perhaps with time you can discern a new use for it. Rangers choose. Attempt to understand the perplexing machinery. Perform a group test. Focus plus explore against a threshold of 1 per ranger to discern how the ancient technology functions. To search your Arcology set for flow steel controls. And put it into play. If you fail, discard 3 total unique tokens from machines and or tech cards in play. Pass it by. Search the general set for awakened apparatus and put it into play. I will pass it by. So I will go get the awakened apparatus. I'm hoping it's a machine with a presence greater than 0. Alright, so Awaken Apparatus is a feature, a machine, a hazard, with a 1 presence, 4 power, 5 harm threshold. And on refresh, discard 1 power from this machine. If it has no power on it, return it to its collection. Alright. So it comes in with 4 power, but it has 1 adapter on it. Excellent. All right. So, here's my thing. I want to move on. However, If I draw a blue mountain, then I will lose that energy, so I can't afford to do that. I don't really want the Crimson Guardian coming out again, but we're going to try it. So we are going to try this test on the Awakened Apparatus. So we are a 2 versus a 1. -1, I succeed with 1, which means this comes over here. I do not have to get the Crimson Guardian out because it was only a total effort of 1. Let's look at this guy again. Now we get a... You pause to sort through your growing collection of Estian power adapters and are delighted to find another to be compatible with one's device. Your enthusiasm, however, is somewhat tempered. Although you only need to find one more, you still need to find somewhere in the Arcology to fuse them to the device it once. Wait a second. You'll still need to find somewhere in the Arcology to fuse them to the device once you do. There's an extra word in there. You tell yourself that next mission you'll be sure to pack some soldering gear. Discard all adapters tokens from this mission and check off one bubble next to the mission on the campaign tracker. Okay, let me mark that on there. Save. Perfect. Alright, now challenge effect. Yellow Sun, I have to spend an energy. Sure. What is this? If within reach is not illuminated, which it is not, discard 1 progress from an active feature. There is no progress on any active feature. Nothing here. Here. Light flickers on above. Discard 1 power from this machine. Until the end of the turn, all areas are illuminated. Well, hey. Excuse me. Alright, let us... We're going to exhaust. Spend a spirit to put token on my badge. Draw me a card, which is a dear friend. We will then exhaust the card, or my badge, to ready myself up. And we will do it again. Getting Cordo's Instinct. Alright. We are going to traverse. I will be going past this, so I suffer 1 fatigue. And so this is a 5 versus a 2. 0, I succeed with a total effort of 5. All right, now we get blue mountain, nothing here. There's no machine with an adapter, nothing. And this one is move 1 power from this machine to the machine with the least power. Okay. That's interesting. Because in theory, then, this has enough power on it. Oh, it needs more power than what I have. Okay. What do I got? I've got 3 cards left in my deck. So I've got 1 more turn. I could stick around to see if I can move a power over there, then move my ranger token there. That's an interesting idea, because just a reminder, so we are at Severed Artery. We need to go down to the Cerulean Curtain, which then takes us to the Stratum, which takes us below here to the Cistern. So in theory, because that would allow me to move 2, I could just go bam, and then bam, and just get right down there. All right. Bold, but I think I like that idea. I have not done anything with that, though, which is a shame. Okay, well. That is all I am going to do with my turn. I am not going to travel this turn, so we're on refresh. First things first, I suffer fatigue from my injury. Then we ready everything up. We draw a card, which is the Bravest Ranger. And now we get Overgrown Vestiges. So it is a feature. Ooh, it is an obstacle. I don't like that, because that will stop me from being able to travel. Oh, man. And I do not have... I already got rid of my vaulting rods. Oof. I don't have another Lambent's rig. So it's an obstacle as long as it... Oh, I do have another Lambent's rig. Okay, perfect. All right. Whew. That is convenient. So we will spend one. We're going to kick out my expedition logbook to pop down a Lambent's rig, which we will then exhaust, spending one to illuminate the Overgrown Vestiges, which means it is no longer an obstacle. We are going to spend one to get the Bravest Ranger down, just in case I run into any fatigue stuff here. All right, let us do this test. So Spirit plus Triangle X, where X is equal to 3 minus the number of power on this feature. So 3 versus, I'm going to put all in, 3 versus a 0. -1, I succeed, so my Ranger token comes on here. All right, red crest. Nothing, nothing, nothing in the missions. Here, if there are more Ranger tokens than power, which they're not, they're equal. This one. Discard 1 power from this machine and suffer 1 fatigue. I am instead going to opt to exhaust my Bravest Ranger. So when I can exhaust it, when you would suffer 1 or more fatigue, you may instead place that many cards from your hand on top of your fatigue stack. So I'm not taking it from my deck, I'm taking it from my hand. Okay. So really this is just try to do tests and hope that I get a Blue Mountain. Okay. I will try this awareness test 1-to-1. I fail. Excuse me. So I've got to spend an energy. This guy is... If within reach is not illuminated, it is not. Lose a progress from an active feature. None of the active features have a progress. Nothing here. This guy is... Discard 1 power from the machine, and all areas are illuminated, which means there's no power on it, so it goes back to the collection, which means I can't move power to that location anymore, so I don't get the advantage of it. All right, so we are going to end our turn and rest. We have enough progress. We are going to choose to travel down to the Cerulean Curtain. And unfortunately, the kinetic transfer pod says when you travel, if all Ranger tokens are on this feature and there is more power than Ranger tokens, you may travel up to 2 paths away. Unfortunately, I only have it equal, so I don't get that benefit. So that's fine, though. So we made it down the Cerulean Curtain, which means we can then focus on getting down to the cistern And we need to get to... Actually, I need to look. I think we need to get to the cage. I think that's where we're looking to go to. So... Oh, yep. Arrive at the cage. All right. Well, that was day 12. So thank you, as always, if you made it this far to watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly do appreciate you taking some time to watch me play a game. As always, I will be back again soon with another game. But until then, I hope everybody has a great night.